Hi everyone, I'm Bellafin, the Bubble Mermaid. One of my most favorite things to do on land in the summer is to go to the Richmond Maritime Festival. That's why I'm so excited that I get to be a part of it this year. What I love about the festival is that there's so many great activities that have to do with ships and the sea where I live. Ships are really interesting to me as a mermaid because back in the olden days, lots of sailors used to have a beautiful carved mermaid on the front of their ship, and they believed that the mermaid would help them have a safe journey across the sea and ward off any bad spirits. And today, I'm going to help teach you how you can make your very own giant magical soap bubbles. Here's all the things that you're going to need. Dish soap. Dawn works really well. A whisk, something to mix everything in, some baking powder, boiling water. Make sure to have mom or dad help with this part. Also some rubbing alcohol and my secret ingredient, guar gum. What's that? Well, you can usually find it in the specialty food store in the baking area. It's used to give stabilization to things like ice cream and some gluten-free foods. Now, to make your bubble wands, you're going to need 2 sticks. Any kind of stick will do. If you find a good stick outside, that's excellent. Just they should be sturdy and easy to hold, and long enough to make a big bubble. Also, you'll need either some cotton rope or you can use a piece of an old 100% cotton tank top. Maybe your dad or your mom or your sister or brother has an old one that you can cut up, but make sure to ask first. Okay, are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, I've got all of my supplies ready to go. Now, the first thing we need to do is mix up our slurry. That's the alcohol and the guar gum mixed up together really, really well. Now you need to find something that's completely dry to do this. It can't have a bit of water in it at all. Make sure it's completely dry. This is a science thing, so make sure no water. What you're going to do is take your guar gum and we're going to measure with measuring spoons. I hope you have those in the house. 3/4 of a teaspoon. Now, 3/4 of a teaspoon, if you don't have a 3/4 teaspoon measurer, what you need to do is 1/4 3 times or 1/2 teaspoon and then 1/4 teaspoon. That makes 3/4 of a teaspoon. All right, we're going to take that with a bit of our alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Now we're going to pour a little bit of that in, and don't worry, don't put too much in, but don't put too little in either. Just put a little bit in and whisk it up really nice with your whisk. You don't want to see any little bit stuck to the bottom. When that's all mixed up nice and smooth, we're going to go and get our boiling water. All right, I've got to go make sure it's nice and hot. I'll be right back. Okay, my boiling water is all ready. Again, make sure to have a grown-up help you with the boiling water part. Now, we're going to be making 8 cups full of bubble liquid, which is the same as a 1/2 gallon. And this is what 8 cups looks like in this bowl, all the way up to my finger. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this boiling water and fill it halfway up in this big bowl, 4 cups of boiling water. Whoa, look at how hot and steamy that is. You definitely want to make sure to have somebody help because I don't want anybody getting burned. Okay, remember our guar gum and alcohol all together? This is really important. I need you to use your whisk hand and whisk, 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 whisk really, really fast while we pour this really slowly into the boiling water. Okay, it's a little bit of science and you have to do it really fast. So I'm going to start whisking my water and pouring in my guar gum mixture and keep mixing, keep mixing. Don't stop until it's all mixed in. I'm going to make sure I get all of that good guar gum mixture out. And you might even notice that it seems to start looking a little bit thick right now. That's what we want. It's going to help make our giant bubbles stick together better. Okay, the next things that we're going to add in are 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Measure it with your spoon and look at this. It's going to foam up a little bit. Whoa! Check it out. Now, of course, we need to add in some dish soap. Ultra concentrated dish soap is the best. I like Dawn, and you'll see why. It makes it a beautiful color. We're going to put in 1/3 of a cup of concentrated dish soap. Once again, get out your whisk and whisk it in really good. You see why I like it? It turns my favorite color of aquamarine blue. I think you might have noticed it's my favorite color by now. Great! Now we're just going to fill the rest of this container up all the way to 8 cups with regular hot tap water. This water doesn't have to be boiling, so don't worry about that. I'm just going to use this water that's cooled down a little bit and pour it in. All the way up to 8 cups, which is also a ½ gallon. That sounds like a lot of bubble liquid, but when you start making great big bubbles, you'll see it's just enough. I'm going to take my bubble liquid, put it in the kitchen to cool while we learn how to make our bubble wands. Okay, let's make our bubble wand for giant bubbles. Now remember, for this you need some kind of cotton rope or a piece of an old cotton ribbed tank top. It should be 100% cotton if possible. It really makes it better. Now once again, we're going to need to cut this. So if you don't have scissors that are sharp enough to cut, once again, find a grown-up to cut this for you. And also make sure to ask if you're using somebody's t-shirt. I am going to use the t-shirt because I like it better. So I'm going to make a nice strip of fabric out of this old tank top, cutting it straight as I can with my scissors. Ta-da! Now I'm going to put that away. I don't need it anymore. Now it's nice and stretchy, which is also very good to start with. You want to stretch it out a bit. And now we want to tie it onto our 2 sticks. Now, the 2 sticks that I'm using don't match, and that's perfectly okay. Don't worry about if your sticks match or not. Right now I'm using a wooden stick, a dowel, and this is an old curtain rod that we're not using anymore. I think they're going to work great. Now, to make your loop, you want it to hang about like this. So you don't want it to be perfectly even. You want the bottom half to be bigger, like it's a big smile. So think about that when you're tying it on. So kind of imagine what your loop might look like, and then take one side where you're going to tie it on. We're going to hold it with your 2 fingers, kind of make a loop here. You take your stick and watch this. Take the loop, put the rest of the loop all the way through, and pull it nice and tight. Definitely want to be as tight as possible. Yes! There's one half. Now I'm going to basically do the same thing on the other side. Here we go. Take this. Here is my loop. Now I'm going to pull this through, but now I'm going to have to take this stick and feed it all the way through my loop. Here it goes. That's why we want to have a nice long piece too. Okay, I'm going to pull it as tight as I can, and also make sure at this point that you have a nice smile shape. Before you pull it super tight, we want to make sure that the bottom half is going to be longer than the top half. So I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment right now before I pull my nice and tight. Tight, 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 tight. All right, check it out. Pretty good. All right, there's our bubble wand. Are you ready to make giant bubbles? You know I am. Let's go. I've got my wand. We're gonna take our wand and dunk it into our bubble liquid. Get it nice and wet. Okay, here we go.